Alright, what's up, motherfuckers? The Worm! And this is just how you camp on this. I actually go flawless on this motherfucking little skit. But, you guys have been, wondering how that little bitch, White Boy, he's been running it. So I told people, I said, well, I even contacted White Boy, and I said, listen, White Boy, your mother was a nice woman. I knew her very well. And he knows that. And, I said, if you talk shit again, I'm gonna tell people how she really died, and it's not that great. And he was like, oh, okay, with his little fucking stupid beard, but, he'd been running online, so, alright, it's not gonna be the prettiest, and you're gonna hear some of the commentating while I fucking pull in these noobs while I do this too, but, so, her name was Bertha. We used to call her Big Bertha. She wasn't big, but she had a big fat booty. She had kind of sloppy tits that you kind of like just throw around, but she had a big fat booty. So, anyway, it was myself, Thunder. We were at a poker game. My boy, Charlie Danger, and this other dude, he was a black guy named Boo Boo. And, so it was me, Thunder, Boo Boo, and Charlie Danger. And, the War Machine was there in the back. He was counting cards. He was on my side. So anyway, we were trading Pokemon in between games. Thunder and I like to play Pokemon. He played red, I played blue. And, Bertha came up, and I didn't even know who the fuck Bertha was, but Thunder was like, yo, Worm, if you trade me that Haunter, it'll turn into a Gengar. And I was like, listen, Thunder, you ain't gonna schmooze me. But he was right, because if you do trade a Haunter, it does turn into a Gengar. So, I was like, alright, I'll take you up on your deal. And, he called fucking Big Bertha in, and I was like, well, who the fuck is this? She had kind of, like, shaved side of her head and shit. She had a head tattoo, kind of like Chuck Liddell. It was a little fucked up. But, so, she came in, and she saw us trading Pokemon, and, I was like, I was gonna do a mystery trade and not let him know not let Thunder know what the fuck I was doing. And, Bertha was talking about her retard son and shit like that, and I'm assuming it was White Boy, unless she has a couple bastardized children, which wouldn't really surprise me. Anyway, so, I was gonna trade Thunder that, and then at the same time, she whispered over into my ear, she said, I have a Charmeleon card. And I said, no you don't, bitch, and I backhanded her, and little did I know that when I backhanded her, it was gonna cause her to fucking fall on the ground. So she's falling on the ground. She's bleeding like a stuck pig. She's bleeding like it's the first period ever, and it's all coming out of her mouth. It's not coming out of the good side. So, she's on the ground convulsing, and I wasn't gonna let that fuck up my Pokemon trade. So I traded Thunder. He didn't even notice. He was so excited he was getting a Gengar. He was trading me the Geodude guy that turns into Golem, and I was trading him a Haunter that turns into Gengar, and we were gonna trade back. So Thunder was so excited that he didn't even realize what was going on. Thunder had nothing to do with any of this shit. It was just all my violence. So, after I was trading that, then I look over and I'm like, oh shit! So, I tell Thunder he had to leave, and it was me, Charlie Danger, and Boo Boo, and War Machine drove Thunder home because he's a nice guy. So, me, Charlie Danger, and Boo Boo were hanging out, and this bitch is still bleeding on the floor, and she's all shaking and shit. And little did I know, Boo Boo ran over and fucking, made sure she didn't have a bulletproof vest on, because when you're related to White Boy, you want to wear a bulletproof vest, because that motherfucker be snitching. Anyway, so, she's convulsing on the ground, she's bleeding out, like I said, and, look at how badass I'm Kim right now. I'm 13-0. So, she's all, so we try to give the bitch CPR, but she's choking on her own blood, and she eventually stops breathing. So Boo Boo's seen a lot of fucking criminal activity, so Boo Boo wasn't worried, but Charlie Danger hadn't really seen anybody bleed out before that was a woman. So he's like, we gotta do something, and I was like, what do you mean we gotta do something? He was like, we gotta get her out of here. He's gonna fuck up our poker matches for next week. And I was like, this was a Pokemon trading tournament, not a poker match. And he freaked out, and he was freaking, so I was like, all right. So we called a couple of our boys, and, little did we know that our boys were, they were into that necrophilia shit. They were into, and I wasn't condoning that, but it was the only way we were gonna get her out of there. So I said, okay, one of you can have your turn with this bitch. She's dead. She's still warm though, so you're not gonna get off. And they were like, they were a little disappointed. They wanted the cold shit, but so they were pretty upset that she wasn't, she wasn't ripe for the picking. But the necrophilias were the only way. They were the only ones with a hearse around town. It was called Ron Perlman's tumbleweeds or some bullshit, like, I forget what the fuck it was, but, so, I was like, alright, well, while you're doing your thing, I gotta go take a piss. So I come out, and it looks like they snuck some other necrophilia snuck in there, too, and I said, hey, only one on this bitch! So they got all scared, and then one of them decided he was gonna bring us, the other went to 7-Eleven and buy the other 2 sandwiches. It was a little fucked up deal. So, one of them was bringing us, and we bartered, and we ate cantaloupe on the way. It was actually a pretty dope-ass time. I was so excited that I got the fucking Golem, that, you know, I didn't realize how much time flew, but this motherfucker was, you know, about 60 minutes away. So this bitch is decomposing in the back. We're driving. We're in a hearse. It's actually a Cadillac hearse. The seats were cloth, though, so I was like, what the fuck's up with this? But, so, we get to the morgue, and the mortician's like, oh, we got the perfect place for this. He was like, would you like to cremate her? And I said, why, yes, I would. I would like this bitch to be cremated because I can't have, you know, my handprint was still fresh on her face. It was like, and, you know, the tattoos on my knuckles that say worm were implanted in her face. So, she'll look, by the way, I got 17-0 after that match. That's how the fuck you camped that if you weren't paying attention. So, worms implanted on her face, and these fucking necrophiliacs are, you know, they had their time with this bitch. So, we couldn't have any shit left over, so he said, okay, I need to burn all the stuff. I'm gonna burn everything with her so there's no evidence left behind. And you know what the whole kicker of the whole story was? She was lying. She didn't have a Charmeleon card in her pocket because I checked her pockets before the motherfucker threw it all in the oven. She had a Charizard card, first edition. And if she offered that to me in the first place, she probably would still be here. But you know what the irony is? Her favorite was a fire Pokemon, and the bitch got cremated by something called the Salamander, which that's a real-life thing that they do. You know, the Salamander cremated. So, you know, when the motherfuckers want to knock over the urn next time they rob this punk bitch's house, he's gonna cry and be like, I wish you would come back. What the fuck is he gonna do if they come back anyway? Those little fucking robbers, they knew who the fuck's house it was. This motherfucker was crying. Look at the video. He's all crying. White boy's a bitch. His mom, yeah, they knocked over his fucking mom's ashes. He's lucky I gave the bitch the urn. But he's all crying and tears are coming out of his eyes. What the fuck is he gonna do if Robert's gonna come back to his house? What's he gonna... He's the motherfucker that if somebody's raping his girlfriend, he's gonna beg that they, you know, please stop. Actually, you know, I saw his ugly fucking fat bitch girlfriend. She ain't no door prize, motherfuckers, alright? I'd rather pound my putt for 3 weeks than have to date that. So, that's all I'm saying. But the motherfucker wanted to know, and that was the real story. It all happened over a Charmeleon and a Gengar and a fucking Geodude trader, Graveler. Graveler's his name. Anyway, Graveler should be her name now, because all she is dirt. So that's this motherfucker's problem. He really wanted to know. He wanted to talk shit. I told him not to talk shit. I told him what the fuck was gonna happen. He didn't believe me. Well, that's really what happened, guys. It's a true story. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna go, what the fuck is wrong with him? Nothing. Ain't nothing, motherfucking, you're lucky I didn't go into detail about this motherfucker. And Boo Boo's a nice guy. Sorry, Thunder. You had nothing to do with this.